I went to the Gulf of Mexico many years ago, and it was a very beautiful place. The Gulf of Mexico is an ocean basin largely surrounded by the North American continent and the island of Cuba. It is thought that it was formed 300 million years ago. The Gulf of Mexico is around 600,000 square miles in size. The Gulf's coastal wetlands are home for numerous fish and wildlife species, including the migrating waterfowl, about 75% traversing the U.S., different types of birds, and fisheries. Everything in the Gulf of Mexico was normal until April 20th, 2010, when the workers had begun to dig deeper for oil. They had already depleted the earliest wells and were desperate for more. An explosion ripped through an oil platform named Deepwater Horizon in the Gulf of Mexico. After this, the platform, Deepwater Horizon, collapsed. The pipe directing oil into it broke in several places, and the oil was quickly released into the surrounding water. The fire was later extinguished, but the oil was harder to stop. During the spill, 11 workers were killed, 17 were injured, and many animals died, covered in the sticky brown oil. The oil leak had cost BP, the company responsible, over $3.5 billion. More than 200 million gallons of oil was released into the ocean in 87 days. It was the biggest oil spill in U.S. history. Responders used 5.5 million feet of boom, a barrier placed in the water to collect and absorb oil. Over 30,000 people responded to the spill on the Gulf Coast, working to collect oil, clean up beaches, take care of animals, and perform various other duties. BP, the company responsible, skimmed the oil on the surface, used booms, and burned the oil as well. Anywhere from 220,000 and 310,000 barrels of oil were destroyed through controlled burnings and/or the use of the boom. Of the 400 miles of Louisiana coast, approximately 125 miles were polluted by the oil spill. This spill was a major eye-opener for many people. It hurt so many people, and the after effects are still seen today, 2 to 3 years later. Many different fish and wildlife species inhabit our oceans, and it is cruel to endanger them for our selfish needs. Bits of oil are still on the floor and still wash up at times, and they still impact the animals in the Gulf. Oil companies are careful and use more safety procedures than they did before. But can we really stop awful catastrophes like this one from occurring again? Slowly, people are changing. We are looking for alternate sources of energy, such as wind, sunlight, or water. People have already begun using environmentally friendly products, and many companies use solar panels or windmills for energy. Fossil fuels do not only cause things like oil spills, but release toxic substances into the air. So we have to move away from oil soon anyway. Once we find an alternate energy source, oil spills will cease to occur, and the environment will become a much better place.